Next up, we're going to make the twisted necklace, and this is good for July 4th, which is red, white, and blue, or you could use it for Mardi Gras. I use 3 strands, so we're going to make a Mardi Gras one right now, because I think it'll hold a little better. So take off 3 strands of wire. And get your 3 strands to line up. I'm twisting the end, keep the beads from rolling off, and also at the end when you're finished you'll be able to have a little circle there. And this extra little, there's a tiny little piece of wire that is really bugging me and just in my way, so if it doesn't want to twist over, under, you just chop it off. Now you have 3 of those, and if they stick together that's fine, if not, that's fine too. You take your colors and pour them in your cups. And the more beads you have, the easier it's going to be. But I don't have very many purple or green left, so we'll see how that goes. And also, if you end up, my purple, when I've used it before, has a couple of red and a pink and even another little tan bead in there and a blue one. And if those get on your necklace and it's threaded way down in there, all you have to do is take your pliers, separate out that one color bead that doesn't match if you don't want to take all the rest off, and just crimp it and it'll break right off, and then you don't have to worry about it. And just start threading them on. And turn towards the camera. Oops. But you just put your beads on to whatever length you want on all 3, and I'm going to stop there and get these all beaded on. Now what I've done, I've strung the green, the gold, and the purple now. The purple one I ended up getting a red, a blue, and a light blue bead in there where I don't want them, right out in the middle. I'm going to take the other end, curl the wire under, and that gives me a little wiggle room. Then I'm going to separate out the bead and break it. You take your 3 different colors, line up the ends, and just twist them up. Because it's wire, it should retain its shape. You just twist it around their little body part that you want it. And usually their hair covers up the end pieces, so you don't have to worry about that. You could also use this to go around the waist on a skirt or at the top of a blouse. And then when you connect it, like if you connect it in the front, you could put a flower right over the connecting points, or if it's in the back, you could put maybe a bow with long ribbon coming off the bottom, something like that. Or you could use this even as a little tiara, a little crown, put it on top of their head, around a bun, something like that. That's the tricolored one is a very pretty one. This blue thing you see in front of you is a little trick for cleaning up that somebody brilliant invented. Wasn't me, but somebody brilliant. You just take your seed beads, you pour them on there, and they have 2 different holes on the end, a big one or a small one, and this is the small one for the container that the beads came in. If you want to store them back in there, you just gently pour them right in. Saves cleanup time and mess and hassle, and it's just a very cheap and easy time saver that you can use, and you can buy them for under $4 at Walmart. They're back in the craft section. Now we're off to a couple of the really easy cheesy things that you can use for your fairies. First of all, we have a little fairy flask. This is what I see as a fairy flask. It's a flat bead, has a little top that you have here, and that's it. All you do is you buy a head pin. This is all in the jewelry section. buy a head pin that has a little round top, a cute little thing, and you buy a bead that's wider than it is flat. And you take the head pin, you put it in, cut off the wire, take it out, cut another teeny tiny little piece off the wire so it doesn't stick out. You take your super glue, you glue the top right there, and you stick it in. Try and make sure it's even. Then you let it sit up, let it dry, and you have your little fairy flask. Very cute, very simple. No big deal. The next one we have is, it's a fairy perfume bottle. And you just take a little wire. I'm taking 28 gauge wire. And you take some beads, whatever color you want, put 3 on there. Usually when you're working with anything artistic, you're going to want odd numbers because it just looks prettier. So you have your 3 seed beads on the very tip, and I'm twisting a couple times to get them to stay up there. I'm going to pull it down straight, both your wires. You take this crystal, and you thread it through. Take this other, you take one of those daisy bead dangles, and you put it on its side. You put that through, because when it's on, it's going to be on its side. You're going to put your next flattened bead on there. And then here's just another finding that is used for jewelry. You put it in there, and then you have your little fairy perfume bottle. And what I like to do is just either tie a knot or twist it. Either way. A lot of times you're going to want to use your pliers because they're a lot stronger than we'll ever be. Get such a better grip. Then you take the extra wire and cut it off. And sometimes you can use a crimp bead under here, but you don't have to. Your perfume bottle is going to be loose like this, so you're probably going to want to either put a little drop of clay in the bottom, so that way it'll help stand it up better, or you can just put it in the fairy's hand. If she's holding it, then you have a lot better control over it. That's your little perfume bottle for your fairy. And the other one's another perfume bottle. You can just take a head pin, take one of your little things here. Let's see what color we want. Well, we'll go with brown, just for the heck of it. Stick your head pin in. There's your daisy dangle. This is a little flower bead that I found at Walmart on a little chain of flower beads back in the craft department. Turn the flower upside down. You have a stand, and here are crimp beads. Put your little crimp bead on the end. And this is a crimper, by the way. Those are Hobby Lobby too. And that crimp bead is too high. I'm going to lower it down with my pliers here, if at all possible. Okay, I didn't do it too tight. I just started it. And then I take my pliers and get that bead really tight. Then you cut it off. And there's your other kind of little perfume.